Howdy everyone, Warsarcy here, and this is World War Z on Nintendo Switch in 2023. Now I know this game isn't really too old, at least the port isn't, having only come out like 2 years ago, but I recently picked this up used for pretty cheap, not expecting much from it, and I was so impressed with this port that I really wanted to make a video on it. My first thoughts on this version, having come from last played the Series X version, was wow, this looks kind of awful. But as I played it for a while, I began to adjust to it and honestly started to appreciate that while it doesn't look the best when compared to other consoles, as is usual with Switch ports, it's not too bad for the Switch, especially given how well it runs. There are some downsides to this version, of course, like a bit of frame drops here and there, crunchy audio quality, and biggest of all, this being an older version of the game that's missing the Aftermath expansion, but other than that, this is a damn impressive port for the Switch, and this version is just as playable as any other one. I've played all of the levels and the frame rate was never a hindrance, holding up surprisingly well even during larger swarm events. I'm actually enjoying this version so much that I've already put more hours into it than the Xbox One and Series X versions combined. Back when it was on Game Pass, I pretty much didn't give this game too much of a chance. I started with the Xbox One version back when it was added, thought it was a neat little game, but only played a few levels and pretty much forgot about it. I went back when I got a Series X and it got upgraded so that I could see how much better it looked and ran, but even then, pretty much forgot about it again. And now here I am on the Switch version, and I'm really starting to appreciate this game a whole lot more. It's a whole lot of fun, has a crap ton of replay value, and it's really cool seeing this run on Switch. I guess I may have sort of disregarded this as nothing more than a third-person Left 4 Dead game, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. For anyone that hasn't played any version of World War Z or watched any videos on it, I'll briefly summarize it. Replayable levels like Left 4 Dead, but with 5 different sets of characters, multiple different classes with their own unlockable skills, weapons level up by getting kills with them and can be upgraded, a player level that goes all the way up to 999, and of course alternate costumes and some cosmetics that can be thankfully unlocked without buying any sort of in-game currency. They're nothing special, but at least they're there. So there's a good amount of stuff to earn, and thus an even greater encouragement to keep playing. It also helps that there aren't a whole lot of other games like this on the Nintendo Switch, so World War Z really feels at home on the console and has pretty much also been the sole reason for me even touching the Switch recently at all. There's a little bit of paid DLC, but you really don't need any of it in my opinion. So when I first gave this a try, I found no one playing, which was really disappointing because when I went to play with bots, I realized just how stupid they are. First mission was a breeze, but everything after, anything that requires escorting or defending or anything of actual effort, they absolutely suck at it. Unfortunately, this is a game where you're pretty much gonna have to play with other people if you want to get anywhere. However, after playing one mission solo, I did end up finding a real lobby. There's actually a fair amount of people still playing. Initially, when I was starting off with easy, I'd usually only get one other person, sometimes two, and one time I even managed to get 3, but when I switched the difficulty to normal, I was instantly put into a full lobby with someone who was max ranked. I didn't know that different difficulties had separate searches, otherwise I would have switched to normal as soon as my level was high enough. Either way, if you don't find people in one difficulty, you may need to lower or raise the difficulty and see if you can find someone in there. It doesn't help that this is the only version that isn't cross-play, so the only people you're going to be playing with are other Switch players, which is unsurprising since, again, this isn't the same version that's on every other platform. So if you haven't gotten World War Z yet on the Switch and maybe considering it, I'd say go for it if you can find it cheap enough. It goes on sale digitally, but it's never gone on sale for under $20, so I'd say maybe try finding a used copy. I got mine for 10 bucks. And that's going to do it for this video. I know this was kind of a pointless video to make compared to other games I've covered, but I'm really enjoying playing this and figured it'd be a perfect opportunity to tell anyone that may have, like me, completely overlooked the port. Till next time, this is Warsarcy on the Game Clips channel, and I'm out.